Hi, this is Mark Littleton, the minister of the Word for the Athens Church of Christ, with today's 3-minute sermon. Our church family during the month of October is reading the book of Proverbs together. We are reading one proverb every day, and I know that many of you are going on this journey with us. And so what I'm doing on our 3-minute sermons during October is, whatever the proverb we're reading that day is, we're talking about that and thinking a little bit about it during our 3-minute sermon time. Today is October the 5th, and so we're reading together from Proverbs chapter 5. Proverbs 5 is a warning against adultery. That's not the most pleasant subject to talk about, and yet it is a needed subject. And what the writer does in Proverbs 5, I'm not going to read the whole proverb, but I would encourage you to do that today. He really does 3 different things in the proverb. He starts by warning us against the dangers of adultery and the allure of adultery and the false promises that adultery makes. And then the second thing he does is he encourages us, if we're married, don't be fooled by the lure of adultery, but instead you find your satisfaction in your spouse. And then the third thing he does in the proverb is he says, look, never forget your life is lived in the sight of God. And he sees, and even though no one else may see, he does, and he knows. And so I think we need to hear those 3 things today. Adultery promises many things that simply are not true. And maybe some of you have given in to the lure of that before, and you know the truthfulness of what I'm saying. It makes so many false promises, and we're lured in by that, and then we're trapped by that. The cure to that is, if you're married, you need to find your delight in your spouse. And that's going to take some work, my friend. Marriage, though it is wonderful, is not an easy thing. And it requires us to make investments in our relationship and in our marriage every single day. If we'll do that, that'll help us to not give in to the lure and the false promises that adultery makes. And then the third thing the writer says in Proverbs 5 is, do not forget your life is lived in the sight of God. Proverbs 5 in verse 21 says, for a man's ways are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. Never forget, friend, that God sees and God knows. I want my life to bring honor and glory to him, and I bet you do too. And so let's just realize our entire lives are lived in the sight of God. Lord willing, we'll see you again tomorrow as we'll look at Proverbs 6 on our 3-minute sermon. Have a blessed day.